Okay, we're on to week 3. I've moved back over here so the sound will be better, and I'm still wearing the same shirt after 3 weeks. This week we're moving into some poetry of the foundational period, and while it deals with some of the same topics, that those ideas of the new world and who we are and those people we found when we got here, and also some of those people that came and they didn't really want to come and things like that. We're not going to be looking at prose. Now we're going to be looking at poetry. And so I thought it would be worthwhile to take a few minutes to consider some things about poetry that you may or may not be familiar with. If you're familiar, that's fine. Just be patient with me. But otherwise, let's take a minute to make sure we've got some definitions down. Okay. Remember, I said in some of the writings that poetry is verse. It usually has a meter or a rhythm and a specific line length. And in order to explain this, I want to have you take a look at page 190 in your book. And this is from the Bay Psalm book, which was the first book published in North America. And we're going to look at Psalm 23, a very familiar one. Now, you may have memorized this at some point in your life, or if you go to a funeral, it's almost always printed on the program. That seems like a funny thing for a funeral. But it goes traditionally in English: "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. I don't remember the rest exactly. I'd have to go back and look. But one thing you notice, it might sound kind of nice. It might be comforting. Your grandma might say, "I want that on my funeral program." But it doesn't lend itself to the structures of poetry as these people expected them. And, more importantly, it doesn't allow you to sing it very well. Okay? Songs, especially hymns, have a very definite rhythm. And you can take a song that is in a certain rhythm and take it and drop it over on another tune that has the same rhythm, and it works just great. If you're familiar with the song Amazing Grace, it works really well to either the theme from Gilligan's Island or the House of the Rising Sun by Woody Guthrie. Okay, so that's, those are very different songs, but they have the same structure, and so that those words just drop right down in the middle of it. Let's take a look at Psalm 23 here from the Bay Psalm book. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. The Psalms in the Hebrew Bible, 150 of them, they were written in Hebrew, naturally. That's the Hebrew Bible. And Hebrew does not work the same way English does first of all, it's Hebrew. And so people that speak English generally don't understand it. It doesn't use rhyme. And while it does use rhythm, it doesn't use rhythm in the same way that English poetry does. Therefore, it doesn't lend itself to dropping down in the middle of a new song, or any song. So, in order to sing these things as hymns, these Puritans and others had to write versions of the psalm, translations, if you will, that were suited to the rhythm and the meter. And so, here's what we have from the Bay Psalm book. Here's Psalm 23. "The Lord to me a shepherd is, want therefore shall not I. He in the folds of tender grass doth cause me down to lie. To waters calm me gently leads, restore my soul doth he. He doth in paths of righteousness for his name's sake lead me." Okay, I'm going to stop there. Oh, that's awful. It could be done so much better, and it was done so much better. And if you're really interested, I could show you some examples of it. But let's just look at what they've actually done. Okay? First of all, "The Lord to me a shepherd is." 8 syllables. "Want therefore shall I not." 6 syllables. Got 8, 6. What do you bet we're going to have 8, 6 in the next one, in the next 2? "He in the folds of tender grass," there's 8, "doth cause me down to lie." 6. 8, 6, 8, 6. This is what we call a ballad form. This would also fit Amazing Grace, the Gilligan's Island song, what was the other one I said? The House of the Rising Sun. All ballads that are 8, 6, 8, 6, they fit those things. Okay, and look at the rhyme scheme. Now, the Lord to me a shepherd is. Okay. Want therefore shall not I. Those two don't rhyme, but really that's one big long line. He in the folds of tender grass, that doesn't rhyme with anything, does it? Doth cause me down to lie. Okay, now I and lie. And then if we look in the next one, in verses 3 and 4, he and me are going to rhyme. And the part I didn't read, fear and are, they don't exactly rhyme, but they're supposed to. Foes and overflows, me and be. Okay? So they're using rhyme, they're using this rhythm, and they're trying badly to get the idea of well, they got the idea of the 23rd Psalm. Again, they just did it badly, but it could be sung, and I won't inflict that on you. Maybe I'll sing it some other time, but not today. So the Gilligan's Island thing was kind of tempting. What do you think? The Lord to me a shepherd is, want therefore shall not I. He in the folds of tender grass doth cause me down to lie. How many of you are going to drop now? Okay. Now, what do we have there? We have that rhythm, that 8-6-8-6, and more specifically, the rhythm goes, it's going to have an unaccented syllable followed by an accented syllable most of the time. The Lord to me a shepherd is. Now I'm exaggerating it, but let me exaggerate it the other way. The Lord to me a shepherd is. First of all, I look ridiculous, but it sounds wrong. That's not how the English is. Most English poetry is written in this iambic form. You've maybe heard of iambic pentameter. That's 5 sets of that da-da. So it's 5 of those. Da-da, 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 da-da. You kind of want something else, right? Da-da, 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 da-da. That's iambic pentameter. This is, again, ballad form. It's iambic, but it's 8 or 4 sets. Da-da, 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 and then da-da, da-da, da-da. And it repeats that, and it can go on forever. Okay? So it's a ballad form. It rhymes, and we generally talk about the rhyme. We'd say, I rhymes with lie. That's I gets assigned an A, and lie, well, that's another A. But he, that doesn't rhyme, so it's B. And then me, that's another B. So it's kind of I, B, B. Of course, we got those lines that don't rhyme at all, so we're just going to kind of ignore those. I'll talk more about that at another time. But I just want to get these ideas of rhythm and rhyme down here on the page. Now, one of the things that happens, and one of the reasons I keep saying I think this is not very good, is in order to make it fit, they do these things to the language and twist it around. And so, I mean, would you say, the Lord to me a shepherd is? No, you'd say, the Lord is a shepherd to me. And want therefore shall not I? That's not English. That's like Yoda. So that's one of the reasons I say it's not all that great. And I'm impressed. Although I'm not crazy about this kind of poetry. I mean, it's not the sort of thing I just say, I think I'll sit up at night and read this. But it's the stuff that when somebody can do that and make it fit and make it sound natural, I'm really impressed with that. So there's no reason you need to care about that, but I thought I'd share it. Okay, we're going to read some poetry. We'll have some discussions. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. We'll go on. I'll probably change my shirt by next time. What do you think?